Hello to you Zenix Zoners out there. And this... you don't want me to call you that? Zenix Zoners? Oh, sorry. Hello viewers and welcome to Behind the Sketch, where in this series of videos I will tell you how I make these wonderful, awful, crappy cartoon series on this channel of mine, which is Zenix Zone PSM. And as I say, first off, we'll start with the background story, and then I talk about the scripting. Okay, before I start a series in general, I first have to think of a story. And usually these stories that come in my head come in my dreams. I mean, the stories you see are actually what I dreamt of when I sleep, which is very creepy. I'm like, wow, I can dream stories. That's pretty epic. So when I correct this story, and for this demonstration, I'm going to use a cartoon series that I thought of making, but I decided not to make it because I think it's already been done, overused, probably not interesting, especially in the YouTube community, because YouTube is all about comedy and not all about seriousness. And this cartoon series I thought of was Toontown Avenue. This cartoon series was a series about a detective rat, because I always want to do, detective, mystery-solving, crime-fighting stories. And this was the story I thought of, and I thought it would be interesting to make. So, before I ever think about animating, drawing the characters, first I gotta think how to develop the story. Now, don't worry, this is the only thing I'm gonna be spoiling. I know you don't want me to spoil Toontown animated series, Legendary, or Pawtoons, since those are active series. Since Toontown Avenue is an inactive one, which will not be published or produced, I can spoil it. So, story of Toontown. Well, he's a detective, but before we get to talking about his detective work, first I decided that maybe he should do something than just solving stories from cases. Maybe, since he's a rat, and also he's a rat, so maybe he's trying to give himself a better profile of rats. Because we all know rats are sniveling little critters, they hang around in dark, nasty places. Well, Toontown, he went to prove that, hey, I'm a rat that's good. I care about, the better of society, not the worst of it. And also, I didn't want to stop the background story from there. Like, okay, so we have that aspect for the background story. And also, then I decided, maybe let's go deeper, expand it. And then maybe he's trying to solve his family history. Like, for instance, his father got in trouble, and maybe he's trying to prove that the reason why he had this issue because of certain things that are going down in the dark rat alley. So all of these things of the story of developing. So this is how I develop the story. I think about it pieces by pieces, or as I like to call them, book 1, book 2, book 3, and book 4, which is why seasons are made. Each season is like a book. And that's also the issue with doing a background story, because first of all, the background story, these are stories you would never see, because it runs in the background, because it's a very long story, and that's the problem with it. I can never finish it, because I can think about this awesome background story, and all of a sudden, due to my laziness or people hate it, I just had to cut it, and people will never know the ending. So that's the joy of a background story. Once I develop a nice developing background story for instance, Toontown Avenue, then I think about, okay, I got this episode, I got the book, which is season 1. Now, let's think of how I'm going to break this book into different parts. For instance, for book 1, I said that Toontown is developing his image. It's because he's trying to impress the top officer in his department, which is a big and mean evil Black Panther, and he's trying to impress him because the Black Panther thinks that little Toontown, he is not up to par, and he's trying to do his best to improve his image. So Toontown, he goes into these deep and dark alleys. He is just going in deep into the city, and that's another thing, the city. These characters, they have to have a world to live in. And he's living in I'm gonna say it's like a mix of London and Paris. That kind of city. But has the crime of Chicago. I'm gonna get hate for that, am I? The crime of New York City, because I live in it. There. Feel better. chuckles. So this video won't be long. So now the episodes. The first episode 1 is like an introduction to the show. Ron and I getting a promotion. And then episode 2 will probably be me investigating, getting the files and sorting out the hotspots. And then maybe the next episode will be going to the hotspots. And then the next episode will probably be filing the first witness. And this witness will either tell the truth or lie. And then that's when the next episode would come will be, where he would take that lead, and if the lead comes out to be deadly or troublesome, then that'll be a next episode, maybe a 2-parter. So this is how I develop the stories. It's just fun how I just make these stories, because I always want to write a novel. I like telling stories. I like creating stories, telling them, writing them, sharing it to other people. I just love it. When I make Toontown or Legendary or Pawtoons, this is how they were developed. All of them has a background story. You would never know. It will run in the background. You will see the little inkling changes. That will be it. And then the episodes, seasons are a book. Remember that. Seasons are part of the background story. So with all of that in mind, you guys know how I develop these cartoons. And it starts with the background story. So I hope you guys enjoy this little behind the sketch of how I make the cartoons from scratch, from the beginning. And now I'm going to move on, probably, with how we design the worlds and the characters. So thank you guys for watching, and as always, stay cool.